Morning fog wraps around the streets of the wealthiest district in Europe. Welcome to the Antwerp Diamond Center in Belgium. Within these few city blocks, billions of dollars change hands daily. Diamonds brilliant as tears pass from hand to hand among people who speak dozens of languages. Yet they all understand only one thing deeply. They understand the universal language of unfathomable wealth and absolute power. Beneath the bustling streets lies a fortress disguised as an ordinary office building. 2 floors below street level rests the most secure vault in the entire world. 10 layers of security protect this subterranean treasure chamber. Paranoid engineers designed this masterpiece, assuming their creation was completely impenetrable. They built a modern fortress to guard secrets worth more than the gross domestic product of small developing nations. Let us examine the anatomy of this perfect defense system. The vault features motion detectors designed to catch the slightest unauthorized movement. Thermal sensors scan the environment for any human body heat. Magnetic field scanners and seismic monitors listen for vibrations from digging or drilling. Even a falling pin would trigger alarms that echo through police stations across the city in a matter of seconds. The crown jewel of this impenetrable system is a massive steel door. 3 feet of solid metal stand between the world and unimaginable riches. A combination lock guards this final barrier, generating 100 million possible numerical sequences. Security Chief Honore van Debrandt tells visitors with absolute confidence that this vault is impossible to rob. You would need to be a magician to breach these walls. He speaks with the arrogant certainty of a man who trusts machines more than human ingenuity. 160 safe deposit boxes rest safely behind that colossal steel door. They hold over $100 million in diamonds, gold, jewelry, and untraceable cash. The security experts sleep soundly, believing their subterranean fortress can withstand any assault from thieves, hackers, or armed paramilitary assault teams. But flawless security is merely an illusion waiting to be shattered by supreme intellect. The engineers underestimated the dedication of a mastermind who views perfect systems as an irresistible puzzle. They never imagined that their impenetrable labyrinth would become the stage for the greatest heist of the century. The chief of security has no idea that a magician has already begun his greatest and most devastating trick. We must jump forward to the morning of February 16, 2003. The vault door remains perfectly intact, with no signs of forced entry. The complex combination lock shows absolutely no evidence of tampering or mechanical manipulation. The motion detectors and thermal sensors recorded nothing unusual during the long winter night. Every electronic and physical security measure functioned exactly as the brilliant engineers intended. Yet when the heavy steel door swings open, the sight inside defies all logic. The vault floor is littered with empty velvet boxes and discarded document folders. Over $100 million in precious gems and currency has simply vanished into thin air. The impregnable fortress has been hollowed out from the inside. A perfectly secure system has just suffered a catastrophic and completely silent defeat. How does a phantom crew dismantle the most secure facility on the planet without triggering a single alarm? The answer does not lie in brute force or chaotic violence. The solution requires patience, psychology, and an obsessive attention to microscopic details. To understand how the unbreakable was broken, we must rewind the clock 2 years and meet the architect of this beautiful disaster. This is the story of a man who weaponized the system against itself. He turned the tight security measures of the Diamond Center into his own personal shield. While the police scramble to understand the impossible aftermath, the real narrative begins miles away. Our mastermind did not break into the Diamond Center violently. He simply rented an office and walked right through the front door. His name is Leonardo Notarbartolo. He is not a street thug or a desperate criminal looking for a quick payout. He is a highly sophisticated Italian jewel thief who has spent over 2 decades perfecting the art of the impossible heist. The authorities in Turin know his name well, but they can never find enough evidence to prove his elaborate crimes. Now his terrifying genius has finally arrived in Antwerp. Leonardo Notarbartolo steps off the train at Antwerp Central Station on a crisp morning. He appears as a distinguished middle-aged Italian man wearing expensive tailored clothing and carrying a premium leather briefcase. He walks with a confident stride that demands immediate respect from everyone he passes. But Notarbartolo is not a legitimate businessman seeking honest trade. He is Italy's most successful jewelry thief, hunting for his ultimate masterpiece. The impenetrable vault below the diamond center drew him like a moth to an incredibly lucrative flame. He establishes himself as a legitimate gem dealer, navigating the complex social circles of the district. His new identity is so flawlessly convincing that wealthy merchants regularly invite him to highly exclusive private auctions. He plays the role perfectly, while secretly analyzing every vulnerability in the surrounding environment. His most brilliant tactical maneuver involves becoming a trusted insider within the fortress itself. He rents office space inside the Antwerp Diamond Center, using his meticulously crafted fake credentials. Suite 478 gives him unquestioned legal access to a building that should remain entirely beyond criminal reach. The security systems designed to keep intruders out suddenly become his daily playground and familiar territory. Every single morning, he badges through the main security checkpoints with an easy smile. He studies the camera angles and memorizes the precise guard rotation schedules with photographic accuracy. He maps out the blind spots and observes the behavior of the surveillance operators. A man with legitimate access can observe flaws that external attackers would never even realize existed. He documents the underground corridors using custom miniature cameras hidden cleverly inside expensive pen bodies. He photographs the vault exterior and the surrounding security infrastructure while pretending to manage his daily business. The guards see a hard-working tenant instead of a master thief plotting their ultimate downfall. His meticulous intelligence gathering lays the essential foundation for an operation of unprecedented scale. With the battlefield mapped, Notar Bartolo begins assembling a legendary crew of specialized experts. From the dark corners of Italy, he recruits Ferdinando Finotto, a man known in criminal circles as a mechanical genius. Finotto is the monster who can manipulate and crack absolutely any safe constructed by human hands. His fingers possess an unnatural sensitivity required to defeat the most complex physical locking mechanisms ever designed. Next, he brings in Pietro Tavano, who specializes in defeating highly advanced electronic security systems. Tavano possesses the rare ability to make surveillance cameras and thermal sensors bend completely to his will. He understands the digital architecture of modern alarm networks better than the engineers who originally built them. He views military-grade encryption and complex wiring as simple puzzles begging to be dismantled. The final piece of this brilliant criminal syndicate comes from the heart of Belgium itself. Elio Denorio knows the hidden geography of Antwerp and commands deep connections within local criminal networks. He provides essential logistical support and maps the subterranean escape routes that honeycomb beneath the Diamond District. Together, these four men form an unstoppable force combining unmatched mechanical, electronic, and tactical expertise. The crew meets quietly in secure safe houses scattered across the city to discuss their strategies. Their detailed planning sessions sound like dialogue pulled directly from a futuristic science fiction movie. They analyze thick binders of intelligence regarding security systems that protect more wealth than massive central banks. Every theoretical vulnerability is debated and tested in their minds before moving to physical trials. These men approach the impenetrable vault like obsessive scientists studying a completely undocumented alien species. Tavano identifies fatal weaknesses in the specific models of motion detectors and magnetic locks used below ground. Finotto endlessly analyzes the schematics of the massive steel door and its terrifying combination system. They leave absolutely nothing to chance, knowing that a single miscalculation means prison. Notar Bartolo ensures that his daily routine continues without drawing any unwanted suspicion from the building administrators. He frequently converses with the security chief, offering friendly smiles while mentally cataloging every word spoken. The invisible web continues to expand as the crew prepares to elevate their theoretical discussions into physical practice. The greatest heist in modern history is no longer just a wild dream but an impending reality. The crew knows that theoretical discussions will not bypass the most secure vault on Earth. They require a physical testing ground to transform their bold ideas into flawless execution. Outside the bustling city of Antwerp, they rent an abandoned warehouse far from prying eyes. This empty, cavernous space soon becomes a perfect, full-scale replica of their subterranean target. They construct exact models of the vault corridors, using blueprints and photographs gathered during Notarbartolo daily reconnaissance. Plywood and steel mimic the impenetrable walls of the Diamond Center. They purchase identical security systems from gray market vendors who ask absolutely no questions. Every motion detector and thermal sensor matches the precise specifications of the equipment guarding the massive fortune. The warehouse transforms into a rigorous criminal laboratory, where failure carries no legal consequence. They practice their approach through the simulated corridors hundreds of times, until every movement becomes automatic. They measure their footsteps and calculate the exact angles required to avoid invisible electronic tripwires. Muscle memory replaces conscious thought as they learn to navigate the space in complete darkness. But the physical replica is only half of the terrifying equation. The monstrous steel door requires both a complex combination and a highly restricted physical key. Only 3 such keys exist in the entire world, held strictly by top executives who guard them religiously. Stealing a key would immediately alert the authorities and trigger a massive security protocol overhaul. Notarbartolo orchestrates a brilliant piece of social engineering during a routine visit to the vault. He requests a brief meeting with a security supervisor regarding his personal safe deposit box. While conversing, he casually produces his own legitimate access key and asks a trivial question about its mechanism. The supervisor examines the metal object closely, completely unaware of the deadly trap. Hidden within Notarbartolo's expensive wristwatch is a state-of-the-art miniature camera. He activates the silent shutter, capturing a microscopic but perfectly focused image of the supervisor holding the master key. A single 3-second exposure provides the exact profile needed to map the jagged ridges and deep valleys of the metal. He walks away, leaving absolutely no suspicion behind. Back at the safe house, Finotto examines the digital photograph with the intensity of a master watchmaker. He uses precision machinery to carve a blank piece of hardened steel based on the visual data. It takes 8 agonizing attempts and thousands of euros to perfect the intricate design. Finally, they possess a flawless duplicate capable of fooling the electronic card readers. With the physical key replicated, Tavano turns his attention to the dreaded electronic countermeasures. The thermal sensors present a significant obstacle that cannot simply be deactivated without sounding the main alarm. He discovers an incredibly elegant solution using a common household item purchased from a local pharmacy. Standard hairspray applied directly to the sensor lens creates a temporary thermal isolation barrier. Extensive testing in their mock vault proves the bizarre hairspray theory works flawlessly. The chemical mist freezes the sensor surface and prevents it from detecting human body heat for precisely 12 minutes. After this crucial window, the spray evaporates entirely without leaving a single chemical trace. It is a brilliant exploit that turns a $1 million defense system completely blind. Next, they tackle the magnetic field generators and the constant live camera feeds. Tavano designs custom electromagnetic pulse devices calibrated to disable the locks without triggering the backup power grids. He programs a device to intercept the video transmission and replace the live feed with a pre-recorded loop. The security guards will see only empty hallways while the ghost crew works. Every conceivable complication is anticipated and resolved during 2 years of obsessive preparation. They rehearse their responses to unexpected guard patrols or sudden equipment failures until panic is entirely eliminated. The tools are packed into specialized bags designed to carry extreme weight without tearing. The crew stands ready to execute a plan that perfectly bridges the gap between sheer madness and genius. They require only the perfect opportunity to strike their colossal target. Intelligence gathering reveals an upcoming long weekend in mid-February when the district operates on a skeleton crew. Many prominent diamond merchants will travel to international shows, leaving their immense fortunes resting quietly in the dark. The pieces are finally set for the most devastating robbery in European history. The discovery of the trash bag transforms a perfect crime into a sprawling international manhunt. Investigators meticulously sift through the discarded garbage, identifying a terrifying treasure trove of forensic material. They extract pristine DNA samples from half-eaten sandwiches and recover clear fingerprints from strips of black tape. The handwritten notes, containing detailed security bypass procedures, immediately connect this roadside litter to the historic diamond heist. Belgian authorities rapidly coordinate with Italian police and global intelligence agencies to track the ghosts who emptied the impenetrable vault. The forensic evidence provides undeniable links to Ferdinando Finotto and his known associates in the criminal underworld. Detectives monitor financial records exposing sudden unexplained wealth and intercept encrypted communications referencing the massive score. The invisible web, protecting the masterminds, begins to tear apart under relentless pressure. Leonardo Notarbartolo watches his carefully constructed legitimate business facade crumble under intense international scrutiny. The rental agreement for Suite 478 transforms from a clever cover story into the ultimate proof of his dark premeditation. Italian police raid properties connected to the crew, discovering specialized safe cracking equipment and custom transport containers. These physical tools perfectly match the forensic profile of the devastating Antwerp operation. The perfect crime rapidly devolves into a perfect disaster as law enforcement closes the net. Police arrest Leonardo Notarbartolo at his luxurious home in Turin while he calmly eats breakfast with his family. Belgian prosecutors present overwhelming extradition papers detailing the forensic connections, financial anomalies, and witness testimonies. The brilliant architect of the century greatest heist suddenly finds himself locked inside a cage he cannot outsmart. His accomplices fall like dominoes as the international dragnet tightens across European borders. Ferdinando Finotto is captured at a secure safehouse, where investigators uncover diamond-cutting machinery and premium-quality stones. Pietro Tavano attempts a desperate escape to South America, but international passport tracking halts his flight. Only Elio D'Onorio manages to slip away, completely vanishing into the deep shadows of the global criminal syndicate. The justice system delivers severe consequences to the men who shattered the illusion of absolute security. In 2005, the court sentences Notarbartolo to 10 years behind bars for orchestrating the massive operation. Finotto and Tavano receive significant prison sentences alongside heavy financial penalties for their specialized roles. The brilliant crew pays a heavy price for the singular catastrophic mistake made by one exhausted man. Notarbartolo earns parole after serving a fraction of his sentence, but his freedom proves temporary. The court orders him to compensate the countless ruined merchants who lost their uninsured family fortunes. He utterly fails to return the stolen wealth, violating the strict conditions of his early release. Authorities arrest him again at a major airport, forcing him to serve his remaining years in a dark cell. Despite the arrests and convictions, the Diamond Heist leaves behind a haunting trail of unanswered questions. The mysterious mastermind known only as the King of Keys was never identified or captured by law enforcement. Furthermore, an agonizing 95% of the stolen diamonds, gold, and cash remains entirely unrecovered. $100 million vanished into the global black market, leaving devastated victims without any insurance or hope. From his prison cell, Notarbartolo spins one final bewildering narrative to confuse the authorities and the public. He claims the massive theft was actually an elaborate insurance fraud orchestrated by a shadowy diamond dealer. Investigators find absolutely no evidence supporting this wild theory, but the seeds of doubt permanently remain. The greatest heist in history ends not with full closure, but with a frustratingly brilliant and enduring mystery. The Antwerp Diamond Center eventually upgraded its defenses, utilizing new technologies to prevent another catastrophic breach. But the legend of the Italian crew still haunts the wealthy corridors of the famous Diamond District. They prove that no system built by human hands is completely immune to human ingenuity and relentless determination. The perfect crime may have failed, but the execution remains a terrifying masterpiece of criminal brilliance. February 15th arrives with a heavy winter chill, settling over the empty Diamond District. The streets remain completely abandoned as the midnight hour approaches. Leonardo Notarbartolo uses his legitimate tenant access card to enter the building through the main lobby. Security cameras capture his arrival, but record nothing more than a dedicated businessman working late on a quiet holiday weekend. Far beneath the quiet streets, his specialized team navigates the dark service tunnels mapped during their endless reconnaissance. They carry heavy duffel bags filled with their custom-engineered countermeasures and precision tools. The men move in complete silence, communicating only through precise hand signals and synchronized watches. They converge at a predetermined staging area located exactly 2 floors below the main lobby. The execution phase begins with cold and mechanical perfection. Tavano steps forward to address the thermal sensors sweeping the corridor leading to the main vault. He retrieves the pharmacy hairspray and coats the lenses with a rapid, sweeping motion. The chemical frost blinds the heat detection systems, immediately giving the crew a brief 12-minute window to bypass the invisible traps. Simultaneously, the electronic wizard deploys his custom electromagnetic pulse generators to disable the sophisticated magnetic field detectors. He splices a small device into the video transmission cables, intercepting the live feed. The security guards sitting in the control room stare at monitors displaying completely empty hallways. The brilliant illusion masks the movement of 4 men approaching the massive steel door. The legendary vault door stands before them, representing the final barrier between ordinary life and absolute wealth. Finoto slides the painstakingly crafted duplicate key into the primary mechanical lock. He turns the hardened metal and feels the satisfying click of tumblers falling perfectly into place. He immediately attacks the combination dial, relying on his supernatural sensitivity to defeat the secondary mechanisms. The heavy locking bolts retract, with a deep mechanical groan that echoes through the underground chamber. The massive steel door swings open slowly, revealing a dazzling cavern of concentrated fortune. Hundreds of locked safe deposit boxes line the thick walls containing the life savings of the most powerful merchants in Europe. The team wastes no time admiring the staggering treasure. Finoto uses a specialized extraction tool to rapidly defeat the individual deposit box locks. The process is incredibly fast, turning highly secure containers into simple metal drawers. Diamonds, gold bars, and thick stacks of cash pour into their reinforced bags. They work with the terrifying efficiency of a well-oiled industrial machine, emptying 120 boxes in record time. Before the morning light breaks, the crew reverses their entire path and carefully restores the security systems. The hairspray evaporates completely from the thermal sensors, leaving the lenses perfectly clear. Tavano removes his video looping device, restoring the live feed to the control room monitors. The Phantom crew vanishes into the dark tunnels, carrying over $100 million in untraceable wealth. They executed the impossible flawlessly and achieved the ultimate criminal victory. But unparalleled success often breeds a fatal level of arrogance and sheer carelessness. The master plan included strict protocols for incinerating all tools and biological evidence left over from the heist. The crew was supposed to burn everything in a secure location far away from the crime scene. Ferdinando Finoto makes a decision fueled by exhaustion that will ultimately destroy their perfect triumph. While driving along a quiet rural road outside the city, he decides to simply throw their trash away. He tosses a large plastic garbage bag into the thick brush near a private farm. He believes the debris will simply rot and disappear into the forgotten wilderness. That single discarded bag contains an absolute goldmine of damning forensic evidence. Inside the plastic liner rests half-eaten sandwiches, discarded latex gloves, and torn receipts. Worst of all, the bag holds handwritten notes detailing the exact security flaws of the Antwerp Diamond Center. A perfect masterclass in criminal execution has just been undone by a pathetic moment of lazy littering. The garbage does not fade away into the mud as the exhausted thief had hoped. A local farmer discovers the strange debris scattered across his property just a few days later. Annoyed by the illegal dumping, the angry landowner immediately contacts the local police department. The authorities arrive, expecting to issue a simple littering citation, but instead find a terrifying treasure trove.